Hey, shout out folks, it's Bob the Old Rucker, and we have a great show for you today. RedBeard and I thank you for listening to the show and your great feedback. Keep sending those suggestions on how we can improve your show. And just a few admin notes before we launch into this episode. We want to share your story, how you overcame your hurt, habit, or hang up, and what you do to maintain a healthy, happy life today. Contact us at shoutoutfromthepit.com. We're looking forward to meeting you. And be sure to subscribe, like, and share with a friend. You'll get Diane's missives full of awesome tools and encouragement and episodes designed to edutain as you trudge the road to happy destiny. It's for free and for fun. Okay, here's what to expect from this show. Team Cheremy is back. That's Sherry and Jeremy. They lead a chat with folks on maintaining sobriety during the holidays. Got to tell you in advance, get a pen ready. There's some great tools coming up, and there were some great guests on the show, and a surprise guest. Yep, I'll tell you, RedBeard was with us. Totally cool. All right, folks, here we go.
Shout out, folks. It's Team Cheremy. I am Jeremy, and that is
Sherry.
We are coming at you raw and uncensored, and as always, only God knows what's going to happen on this show. Welcome to Shout Out from the Pit, where the host for tonight's show and RedBeard, the brains behind the scenes, is the old Rucker's partner and producer. Our goal is to bring stories and topics designed to add to your toolbox as you trudge the road to happy destiny. Joining us today are the old Rucker, Bob, hey. Kimberly,
hi,
Joel,
hello, everyone,
and Sam.
Hey, everybody.
And Sam has a story coming out soon, and we really, really hope that one day we can get Bob, the old Rucker, in the chair and get his story recorded. And maybe, just maybe, that might come out one day. So be looking for that in a future episode.
Yeah. Patience is the word of the hungry man, Jeremy.
I love it. I love it. Hey, I do have a joke for y'all real quick before we get started. Where do pirates get their hook hands? All right, y'all got to talk closer into the mic with your responses.
Boys are us.
Oh, that's pretty good, Joel.
Good one.
No idea.
No idea, Sam. Kimberly?
All I can think of is something about booty, and I know I'm not right.
I love it.
You are
I love it.
Right. I love it. I don't know.
At the second-hand store.
Oh, boom, boom. That was good. That was good. Okay.
All right. I loved it. I saw that one and I had to do it. I love dad jokes. They're great and they're amazing. I'll give you one more. Why did the lemon get suspended?
Don't get him started, y'all.
It's too late.
Because it was always tardy.
Oh, God.
What did you say?
It's always tardy.
It's always tardy. No, I hear about 15 a day.
I can't support that.
All right. Enough. All right. Here we go. All right. So I did a little quick Google search, and what we're going to talk about today is staying sober during the holidays because, it's an important thing, especially for people that are early in sobriety, because the holidays can be a triggering event, right? It can be a time that's typically surrounded around family. Sometimes we may have lost our family through the process of our addiction, and now we don't have anywhere to go, right? Now we're all by ourselves. How do we deal with that? It's also a time that, a lot of families use it as a drinking event, right? And so now if I'm going to go to my family's Thanksgiving and it's always been a big drinking event, how do I handle that? So I do want to read something here about, and this was just a little quick Google search about sobriety during the holidays. During the holidays, there is a significant increase in addiction relapse rates, with some sources citing a rise of at least 150%. This period also sees a surge in alcohol-related fatalities, with one study showing a rise in drunk driving fatalities of up to 50%. Factors contributing to this include increased stress, social pressure, and a disruption of routines that often include alcohol and other substances. As for relapse rates for individuals in recovery for drug and alcohol addiction increased significantly during the holiday season. One source found that the readmission rate for past patients jumps from around 25% in other months to over 60% during the holidays. increased stress, financial strain, seasonal depression, family dysfunction, and social pressures to drink can all contribute to a higher risk of relapse. In alcohol consumption and related fatalities, adults report drinking more during the holidays, with some surveys showing an average increase of 27%. A survey found that 47% of men and 40% of women reported binge drinking on New Year's Eve. Alcohol and drug-related traffic fatalities increased during this time, with the CDC reporting that drunk driving is involved in nearly 50% of holiday traffic deaths, compared to around 38.6 during non-holiday periods. And factors that contribute to increased risk: holiday stress can lead to physical illness, depression, anxiety, which can be triggers for substance misuse. Holiday parties and gatherings often involve alcohol, creating social pressure to drink, even for those in recovery. The break from daily routines and structure can make it harder for individuals to maintain sobriety, and the holidays can also bring up difficult emotions, complicated family dynamics, and feelings of loneliness, leading some to self-medicate with substances. So 5 things to remember. 1, you are never alone. 2, the holidays are just like any other day. 3, the past is the past. 4, if it makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to participate. And 5, sobriety during the holidays should be your priority. So what are y'all's kind of general thoughts on that?
I'll go first. Hi, Kimberly here.
Hey, Kimberly.
Hello. Yeah, I think that was incredibly poignant. Like, anxiety and social pressures were a massive reason to abuse, like, anything that you can really get your hands on. Like, if you office parties are incredibly difficult and there's a lot of pressure to attend. I remember, I'm about to get into personal stories, but yeah, like trying to come up with backups, reasons to not drink or overcome the pressure to attend these types of parties. That can be pretty difficult. But yeah.
I think as alcoholics, for me personally, most of us have, I'm trying to think of the right words. For me, I was a chameleon, and I've noticed that in a lot of people. So I think that we are in general more susceptible to the pressures of society to fit in and seem normal. And so I think that ties into a lot of, the statistics that you read, because we want to fit in, we want to appear normal. And in a lot of those situations, we can appear abnormal if we don't partake in what everyone else is partaking in. So I think that's, part of the reason for some of those statistics.
Sure.
I'd say that, it was always a great excuse for me to drink a little bit more, go Christmas shopping, drink some more, decorate the tree, drink some more. I mean, like my tree leaned to the left for years. And I got, when I got sober, it was in the fall. So it was October. So, I knew these things were coming up. And so one of the things I remember thinking about was that I always wanted a way out, drive my own vehicle to wherever I go. And if I got uncomfortable, I knew I could leave, but I think I prepared myself to be uncomfortable. It's like I tried not to avoid every situation, but I would kind of prioritize what I should or could or would need to go. It's like it kind of talks about in the book that, we should be able to go and be anywhere that we want to be if we have business to be there. And I'd have to kind of remember, they're family, but do I really need to be there? Do I really, or can I limit my time? Can you, you just have to adjust. And I think that's, but that, it's hard. It's because it's emotional and we're dealing with our emotions. We're not drinking them away. And so the emotions for me, like, it would heighten. So, but I think there is, like what Joel said, that pressure to be a part of, and knowing that we have to not be a part of all the ways, always, of everything.
True. One of the stories that immediately popped up into my mind was 2016, that last full year of drinking. Man, my daughter was moved out of the house. Son wasn't at home. Sherry and I were there. It was the first Thanksgiving we had ever had without kids in the house. And I can't tell, like, if I was going to guess the amount of money that I spent on alcohol for that weekend, it was probably around anywhere from $600 to $1,000 just for the two of us. And we came out of that weekend, and I remember, like, we had been drinking all weekend. I'm crying. I'm being a little baby. I'm a drunk. I'm doing all the stuff, right? But I remember finding, like, I would go to the liquor store on big weekends, and I would get one of the empty cases, and I would just fill it up full of bottles and booze, right? And so the end of the weekend, there's a case of all of these empty bottles sitting by the garage door in the laundry room. And Sherry puts a note on it that says, "We're done." And I wake up and I'm like, oh God, what did I do? Well, what that note meant was, we're done drinking, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
You thought something else.
I did, man. I did.
Immediately knew it was we're done drinking.
Yes.
That's where his mind goes.
But that's where my mind goes. But it's like that. So every Thanksgiving that, like, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, right? And so every Thanksgiving, I always remember that. I always remember that, because the next Thanksgiving I was sober. And then it's, how do you handle that? How do I go? And just like you, Sam, we got sober in October.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've got Halloween that was a drinking event.
Yep.
Thanksgiving that was a drinking event. Christmas that was a drinking event. New Year's that was a drinking event. Like, all of these events that happen back to back to back, we stack up all of these things back to back to back that are all drinking events. Now, how do we navigate that? And I had no skills to navigate any of that yet.
Yeah. There it is.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I remembered when you said that. I remember that Thanksgiving and just sitting there in our bed, literally eating off of a plate. I don't even know what we were eating, crying, going, we don't have anybody. Oh my God. But then I also remember that next year or so, the first New Year's where we were sober, then we were like, what are we going to do now? Like, it's New Year's. I think we ended up sitting in our spare room with the radio playing, and I cleaned jewelry. Like, I just had to do something with my hands. So I just cleaned every piece of jewelry with the cleaning thing. And that's what we did for New Year's. So, it goes from nothing to, nobody wants to be around you when you're drinking to, okay, I may be choosing to be by myself at this time in early sobriety. But yeah, holidays are hard. Doesn't matter how long the sobriety you have, the anxiety. That's what I keyed it on when you said that. Of course. Yeah, let's get into it. What about you, Bob?
Well, thank you. Hey, so it's the old Rucker. I can't even think of who I am today. It's been a hell of a week.
Yes.
So, and of course, I can't complain after hearing all the stuff that you've been through, Cheremy. So, wow. And Sherry. Hey, so great topic. Yeah, we need to get this released pretty quick. I like how you introed, especially the solutions. Those five. Man, we could hit any one of them. First thing I want to do is say that Team BS, my other side, Shannon, I screwed this up, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it was at 2:00. So this show was scheduled for 11. And so that's why RedBeard's not here, because he was looking forward to it. In fact, this is what's really crazy. You instigated this, Cheremy. And so RedBeard and I are like, heck yeah, man, let's do it. And so I'm the one that messed up the calendar. So that's on me. So I say that because Shannon's with her tribe, with her 12-step program this morning. And I just texted her and told her, and I haven't got a response back, so I know what that means.
She knew about it. I invited her.
Oh, at 11 though, or 2? Because I told her 2.
Oh, I said 11.
Yeah, well. And we're sober.
Right.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate.
Yeah.
So two things. The depression side is real. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but my dad suicided at Christmas, right? And then I ruined another Christmas with the family, and that was that last Christmas. And the reason I even say that is because I have to ruin stuff to enjoy anything, you know. And so every like Christmas after me ruining my last one, because look, it's okay to be depressed in my mind's eye. It's not okay to be contagious. You know, other people deserve to have a good holiday. And for me to sit around and go, I'm sorry I'm alive today because my dad, or I ruined another Christmas. It's like nobody wants to hear that stuff, right? It is the holidays. It is a time to be cheerful. So for me to snap out of that, I have to get my woos on, you know, the tools that we've learned in this program, the sunlight of the spirit, you know, look at the optimistic side of things. And it takes a minute sometimes, you know, it's not like you can take a pill. Well, although sometimes I wish I could, you know, hey, take angel dust, see the Lord, you know, it doesn't work that way. So I'm going to just say that I love this topic because it's a reminder for me and everybody in this room and anybody listening to this show. Yeah, one of the things we got to do is be considerate of other people. On that note, some people can ruin our holidays because they can't recognize us as former addicts and alcoholics. They're trying to dance around us. So I would ask you to both sides, right? The recovering addict and the, what do you call it? The former enabler? I don't know. Yeah. You know, hey, just, you know, show each other some grace and each holiday will get better. But we've got to work together on that, man. And finally, it's okay to be texting your bros and your sisters while you're in an uncomfortable environment. Hey, I just need to hear or see somebody's, you know, so Jeremy, I'm in a rotten place. Joel, I'm in a rotten place. And just you guys write back, say, hey, you know what? Think of the happy place. This too shall pass. That kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
Oh, that's good.
That's good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, always. But I really liked what you shared. But regarding the people you have around you, because that your tribe is so important, and continuing to reach out when you're uncomfortable or if you're having a bad day, I can tell you that has saved me so many times, in so many different ways. And regarding the like former enablers, I had to cut those off. I had to cut those out. Like they weren't repentant. Okay. They were continuing.
How did you do that? How did you cut them out?
I mean, it kind of became natural. Like it was a distancing at first where like they kept asking me why. I was like, why won't you drink? I've told you this before. Like I can't stop at one. That is not within my abilities. And you have to know your limits. Mine is one. Mine is a fraction of one. It's none. Like that is my limit. That's the mathematical equation.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what AA teaches you. Is knowing your boundaries, knowing that you can't start, and having the defense, having the weapons against that first drink. And for me, that is my tribe. That is reaching out to Sam and Sherry. That's reaching out to my sponsor. That's reaching out. Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyone else, you brought up a good point, Kimberly. So we're already going off the question, deviating from the question. So what do you tell somebody? Because that is a real thing. Like once you're sober and you get around family members or friends, office parties and stuff, what are some things you have used to be able to tell somebody you're not drinking without being what do you say? Because that's a lot of questions. What, oh my God, what do I say? So let's hear.
Absolutely. What's really funny is when I was actively drinking, I would not go to office parties. Like I wouldn't because I knew what was going to happen. But now that I go, to be completely honest, I'm just direct. I'm like, I don't drink. But I've heard so many good things. Like I have a friend that's just like, when he's offered a drink, he'll say something to the effect of, you know, it's better for you and it's better for me that I don't. Like he'll just say that. And most people are accepting. And if they try to push you, that's on them. Just I try to keep it simple. I'm like, I just don't drink.
That's right. Good.
Yeah. I have found myself in several situations where I've been offered alcohol, and it's real easy to tell someone that you don't drink without letting them know that you're in recovery. Anything beyond, oh, I don't drink is really none of their business. It's not just in holiday situations. I went to my 20-year high school reunion about a year and a half ago, and I didn't let anyone there know that I was in recovery, but I just said, no, I don't drink. Personal choice. And no one seemed to question it or anything like that. Now it may be more widely accepted as a societal norm. That's real easy. For me personally, it's been easy to explain that I don't drink without having to tell someone, oh, I'm an alcoholic. So.
I think that to piggyback off what you said, I think in today's society, right, is that we're starting to see a lean shift in societal norm to where smoking used to be the norm. Drinking used to be the norm. And if you didn't smoke and you didn't drink, then you weren't a man, right? That was just kind of the idea and the concept. Right now, smoking is, if you smoke, you're in the abnormal percentage. If you can be a person that doesn't drink or doesn't drink all the time, right? And that's just the norm. That's just the norm in today's society.
There's so many reasons why I'm not a man, but those two are two of them.
Wait a minute. I do have to say, if you're a woman who smokes and drinks, that makes you a badass.
A cool girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
or a hooker. I don't know.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, for me, I'm different. I really, and maybe to a fault, I'm transparent to a fault sometimes. And I'll just straight up tell you, I'm an alcoholic. And if I have one, I'll have 1,000 and we'll all be on the floor and I might black your eye, you might black mine. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm like, and that usually shuts it down right there for me. And so not everybody wants people to know they're in recovery. I don't care because I will hide behind anything. I will hide behind somebody not knowing and thinking I can be sneaky about something when it comes to alcohol or any of the party favors or whatever. So if I put it out there, it's concrete, it's real, this is how it is, and just let the awkward silence just sit. Because sometimes they'll be like, and they'll find somebody else to talk to. And then I can, it works both ways. It works two ways.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, some of the thing, like, sometimes you don't get asked for me for the first couple of years, you didn't get asked to the same kind of functions that you went to before because, and so, cause some people like, they don't know how to handle us either. Like, do we invite her? Do we not invite her? And I remember, having some friends that I went and they were all still drinking. And I was like, it was the one time that I didn't take my car. I rode with somebody else and I wanted to go home and I was stuck and I had to grin and bear it. And it was a good opportunity for me you don't know what you're supposed to do or not do. You don't know what's going to feel comfortable, what's going to work, what's going to be accepted or whatever. And like Joel said, it's really nobody's business, but I come from like trying to justify my actions or like, wanting to people please or want all of that. So it's like, so maybe that's why I go, what, I'm alcoholic. I can't drink, blah, 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 and it just goes on from there. But, I just got to the point I'm like, nah, I'm allergic. Super allergic. super allergic. And like, even like, when I was married, I don't go out to eat much, but when I was married, every time we go out to eat, I would ask the waiter, every single thing, special or whatever, like, is there any alcohol in it? I don't care if it burns out or not. I do it every time. And let me just tell you, I got stuck one time with, I took a bite of his dessert and I thought I knew the answer. And as soon as I took a bite of that dessert, it hit the back of my throat. I knew. And I literally just like got up, ran to the bathroom, and just wanted to just throw up, and then call my sponsor because I was like, "Oh my god, it's just right there! I can feel it!" And it was just like it's like it livened something up, and I was like, so it's like I'm so careful. I'm very careful, especially around the holidays when all the liquor and all the things they're pouring liquor on desserts and meats. And
do
whatnot.
you know that they make mac and cheese with beer?
No, beer cheese
is a real thing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I
actually have a joke. I have a joke that Sam just reminded me of, and since we started with jokes, we're going to interject.
Let's hear it, Kimberly.
Okay,
let's go.
So it was like, I'm so allergic to alcohol. I break out in handcuffs every time.
That's good.
I like that. For me, I like what you said about the anxiety and stuff like that, because I can't walk up to somebody and say, "Oh no, I can't. I'm an alcoholic." So in my head, before I ever walked into a room, anywhere I went, holidays especially, because there's people you don't see. But I was always nervous. Oh my God, what if they ask me? What if they do? But I've had the same thing. People say, no, I'm not drinking today. I mean, it's really that simple, but we make it a huge deal. If people are, no, not today. I'm not having any today. Or I've also found if you're going to a place where there's a lot of drinks just being poured and stuff, take your own cup. Mm-hmm. Take your own cup, because they don't know what's in it or not. And somebody asks you for something to drink, just say, "I got it." They don't have to know it's Coca-Cola or water. Normally, nobody says a word. So take your own cup, but I've used that before. I was like, "Oh, I'm not drinking today. Today's not my day to drink." And they'll go, "Oh," and go on. I mean, it's something, hopefully I'll never have a day, but that's a real thing So yeah, I'm glad we're giving people kind of a remembrance of little things to say, because I need short one sentences. Mm-hmm. So if I can remember it ain't my day today. It ain't my day to drink. So
I just don't want you asking me tomorrow. That's all right. Like, tomorrow might be my day to drink. I just rather just tell them, "Nope, don't ever ask me." I'm good on that.
I love you for that.
I think that's awesome. And so Sherry, that was a couple of things. So, and you touched on this too, Sam, I was in a job when I got sober where I had to attend functions where alcohol was involved. And shortly after getting sober, I'm at one of those functions and I'm talking with my sponsor beforehand, and I'm like, "Man, there is a lot of drinking that goes on here." And he is like, "It's okay." He said, "First thing is, make sure you have your phone on you at all times." He said, "If there's ever a point in time when you need to step out and call me," he said, "I'll make sure my phone's on tonight." He said, "Call me." He said, "Two," what Sherry said, he said, "Keep a drink in your hand, whether it's a cup, a bottle, a can, whatever it is. People don't care what you're drinking. They just care that you have something."
Yep.
Yeah.
And they said, so they're going to be less likely to ask you if you want something to drink if you've already got something in your hand, whether it's water, Coca-Cola, doesn't matter. Third thing is drive yourself there, because if at any point in time you realize that you cannot stop yourself, you can always get in your car and leave.
Get the hell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point that you brings up. The next thing, when you see something as triggering, or okay, I have an event. This deals around with families a lot of times, or office. When you see something that may be a trigger, how do you decide whether this is a good thing to go to or this is not a good thing to go to? People pleasers, not people pleasers. If something comes up, you're like, "This could trigger me." What is your thought process on if you go or don't go?
I'd say, at first I would overthink all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then having to, kind of get the idea of what am I invited to? What's like, just look at the calendar. Like, what am I invited to? What will I, quote unquote, not be available for because I don't feel like dealing with it? And then kind of go from there, and driving yourself and doing all those things until, it's year 12 for me, but not that it's any easier. And, it looks different for me now. This year I am alone. So that is very helpful. I mean, in that I'm not invited to parties. I'm not going to parties. I don't have family. You know what I mean? Like,
Same.
I'm just like, I'm good with staying home with my plants. I mean, like, they won't ask me to drink. So, it's just, but if you're going through that process, most people have families or spouses that have office parties or whatever. I mean, even when I was doing that, it was the same thing. Like when I was married, it was like, if we did go to anything, I would just kind of give him a little nudge, like I'm not comfortable, or like, he would sort of shelter me from some of that. And so that was good. That was helpful. When I wasn't as strong in like, being able to just face it or, talk to, these were already strangers, or if I didn't want to, strangers or colleagues or whatever to him. And so I don't want to just throw myself out there as an alcoholic to his call. You know what I mean? So you got to be respectful.
Yeah.
And so, but if it's just me, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not allergic. We don't. And, and drive my own car. And, but now like my tribe, my people are you guys. I mean, like, I don't have to protect myself so much. I don't have to, I just don't have to. I work at a treatment center. I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's nice to be able to just kind of be able to breathe through the holidays. And so, where I get stuck is the depression part, missing Brittany, missing what's not there anymore or what's changed. And there's a grief process of all of the changes that happen with the holidays and whatever it is that you had last year that you might not have this year. So those are the things that for me, one of those things is I'm okay to cry. I'm okay to sit in my house and cry, but I can't do that for long stretches of time. But I do have to get it out because like Bob, what you said, you don't want to get your ick all over everybody. And some days I just feel pretty damn. And it's, you have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. But like, just hold them into like inside to yourself in your own environment, and then be able to walk out of that space. It doesn't disappear, but you can walk out of that space, go be with your people. And then they will, every time I'm with y'all, it lifts me up. Every time I go to a meeting, it lifts me up. Yoga this morning lifted me up. And I had a pretty crummy night last night, but it's those things that we invest in that we get something back from.
I love that. That's a great perspective, being somebody that is alone. It's okay to be alone. How do you get out when it's time to get up and say, okay, I've done my alone. I've done my crying. I'm good. I'm cleansed. Get out and face the world. What do you do to do that?
I get invited to a podcast. God will unfold some of the things that, and I'm in school now. So, there are things that I have to do. So I have to do schoolwork. So I can't sit and cry and, I've got to do schoolwork, or I'll go to a meeting, or, just different things. Or last night was really late for me to reach out about what I was experiencing. And so I did just ask God to let me sit in it. Just let me sit in it. Because I didn't want to, there's people have stuff to do. They're asleep or whatever. And so I was like, oh, it's okay. It's okay if somebody's not available and it's not a crisis. It's just a moment. I'm not saying you need to reach out if it's a crisis mode or something very, hurtful, terrifying, whatever that's going on. But I've learned to sort of gauge that a little bit and learn how, and God's kind of, put his hand on my head. Like, you need to sit in some of this. You need to feel it. You need to feel it out. Meaning that you got to get it out. And the more I can let it out, it's kind of weaved back into me with the space that I give it. And it, and the things that take up that space, like you guys, group messages, sharing little daily devotions, I send a lot of text messages sometimes just because I'm not right, but I'll send them out and God gives me something back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in some of those group messages, and they help anchor me as well. And I think with regards to getting out and reaching out, being in the program is really helpful. Like on Thanksgiving Day, there's a meeting. There's going to be a potluck somewhere. And it's the whole idea of staying in the middle of the group. Like there will always be an opportunity for service. There's always going to be something out there for you. If you're staying in the middle and you're staying like with the program, there's always going to be something on any given day. And just making sure that you're, being of service. And, for people like me who don't have the opportunity to just be alone, I am constantly bothered. Whether that's with family or with my work. My work is probably my biggest haranguer. I believe that's a word. Yeah.
How do you handle that? So, she's from the lone kind of prospect. That's how she handles it. You're like, I'm being bombarded a million different ways. Yeah. How do you handle that?
And there's the pressure to always show up with my work. It's important for client connectivity. It's important for networking. And it just kind of slowly evolves where I flew out with somebody I work with that's over me to visit a client. And they knew that I had quit drinking, and it became up like we went to a brewery. There was no soda. There was not even any water. Like you would have had to go into the bathroom to get water. So I just sat there eating popcorn with a dry mouth. It was awful, but I did it. And, I didn't really have to explain myself to that partner. And then going to events, it just becomes clear that I don't drink. And eventually I started seeing mocktails or juices, like water finally being offered. But alcohol is just a really prevalent part in some people's office cultures. But it's slowly, even at the place that I work, it's slowly becoming less and less prevalent. And I have to say that saying that I don't drink has come easier with time. That was not easy at first. Mm-hmm. And I remember the very first kind of holiday party I ever went to, I was in touch with my sponsor, like, hey, I have to go do something. I'm really scared. I'm really nervous. I was acknowledging this. I'm really anxious. And just being able to say that out loud and have her help me, walk through, okay, well, if you feel pressure, this is what you're going to do. And I walked in and it was nothing. It was nothing. It was a non-thing. I walked in, nobody said anything. And somebody was standing right next to me with my favorite drink in her hand. I even smelled it. I didn't even want it. I didn't snatch it out of her hand to test it for. I'm a poison tester. Okay, previously, I'm a recover and poison tester.
I'm gonna drink it, make sure it's not poison.
I'm retired. Okay, I don't need to do that anymore. But anyway,
right.
I got through the night, and more importantly, I remembered I am fun. Without the drink, I don't need it. And that was another important recognition, that you can be in a space, still eventually get comfortable and let your personality come back out without any aids, quote unquote aids.
Great. And I want to piggyback off of one thing you said too there. And this is going to be if you are the family member of a recovering addict or alcoholic, mocktail parties are becoming a very big thing in society. And this goes back to kind of drinking is not the norm anymore, right? We don't have to drink socially. And so maybe at holiday gatherings, have that mocktail offering for those family members that don't drink. The other thing is, don't make a big deal about it because and when I say that, I don't mean to that person that no longer drinks. Don't make a big deal about it to other people that are there because it just makes that person that doesn't drink feel awkward the entire time and makes them feel ick and uncomfortable and want to leave. All right, real quick, Joel, we want to hear your version of deciding whether to go or not go, and then we're going to take a break as soon as you're done.
So, my experience with deciding whether to go or not go, I got sober August. And so I was on the cusp of the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. The anniversary of my mom's death is also at the beginning of September. And then my belly button birthday is New Year's Day. So that was always a huge
mega
party, even if I was partying at home alone by myself.
Yes.
Which, there towards the end of it, I was doing a lot. But I have a disease of perception, and I also kind of have a disease of thinking that I always know what's going to happen. So that plays a big part in, some of the anxieties that I can feel, thinking that I know what's going to happen at the event, or this person's going to say this to me, or I'm going to feel triggered or something like that. And the reality is I don't know any of that because none of it's happened yet. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of situations when I've had some anxiety with attending the event, or if there's going to be pressure to drink, or am I going to be the only one there that's not drinking or something like that? In the vast majority of situations like that where I've thought that there could be something like that, I go and it's fine. I go and, of course, I did not put myself in those situations, when I was immediate into recovery. The first holiday season, I spent a lot of time with just family, and with my AA group. But as I started to kind of branch out and socialize with people who drink and stuff like that, I have found, and this is just my reality, that it's really not a big deal that I'm not drinking. So any anxieties that I have experienced with, oh gosh, should I go to this? Am I going to feel triggered or something like that? Luckily I was gifted with a tool set early on in sobriety to be able to stand solid in my sobriety and know that that is the most important thing in my life above it. So, as of today, having been gifted that tool set, I pretty much know that whatever situation I'm going to find myself in, if I do get to feeling squirrely or if there's a worry about me, possibly picking up a drink or something, I have a whole phone list of people that I can reach out to. But I also know that I walked back through the gates of hell to get sober. And I stand firm in that resolve, to know that even if I'm around a room full of drinkers and I'm the only one that's not drinking, that still doesn't bother me, because I know that the life that I live today is so much better than anything that I could have experienced previously.
Awesome point. Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Good stuff. Bob, any last thoughts before we go on break?
Come on.
Those you guys, really good insight.
That is good.
Really good insight, all of y'all. Where do I start? Okay, so I want to make this the 3 Bs, right? Be good, be brief, be gone, so we can go on break. RedBeard's on his way, by the way, so hoo-hoo. Also not going to hold it totally against me, and it means a lot because I can't get him on a lot of shows because he's so busy. So when he was planning on coming today, I got excited because, he's my brother, man. So he's the one that, he's the brains behind the show. This show would not exist without him. Okay. So, strategies. In the beginning, we might just have one strategy, and that would be RUN, run. And that's okay. And as we mature, like all of y'all are professionals, I'm not going to dime out what your profession is, but I know what they are. But when you were new in your profession, you didn't have a lot of strategies or a lot of tools, right? And then as you learn them from a mentor, a sponsor, right? Then as situations come, those strategies, they just kind of appear like, oh yeah, I know how to deal with this. So, I'm going to use a word that you didn't use, Joel, but you made me think of it. And that is being immersed. You said you are resolved in your sobriety. I love that. So I'm so immersed in this program that I'm constantly in it. I'm always, I'm either jamming with somebody through dialogue or I'm reading, and you guys know my remap, right? Reading, exercise, meditation, and prayer, right? And anonymous work. So I'm always doing something that keeps me immersed and grounded because I have a built-in forgetter. It's so easy for me to slip. And I think of it in a simple analogy. If the bank vault isn't guarded, the thief is going to come steal. So the treasure is us. We are the treasure. And the thief is the alcohol, and the guard is the tools that we learn in this program. So I've got to keep my treasure guarded by being immersed in learning new strategies. I've got strategies, but by no stretch of the imagination do I ever want to think I'm a guru. So I need to listen to you people to build my repertoire, my Felix the Cat bag. Any of you old enough to know what that is?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So, yeah, I don't want to belabor this anymore, but you guys, there's some really good insight. Oh, and the last thing is, accidentally, it was an accident, but I took it. Holidays can be a challenge, specific ones, and there's always, I think, Kimberly, you said it. There's always a potluck or something going on. That's right. There's always something. There's always something going on. Well, there's rehabs. You know, those people are committed there, right? I got asked to speak at a rehab, and I was like, what day? And they're like, well, it's Thanksgiving. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll take it, man.
Yeah.
So there's always something. So I'm glad you said that.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much for that first part of the segment. Hey, everybody, we're going to take a break, and we will be right back after that. All right, folks, we're back from the break. Now we've got one of the most integral parts of this show has gotten here to join us, RedBeard. The show would not happen without him.
Amen.
RedBeard's in the house.
Wow. Thank you.
So I want a couple of little admin notes here before we get back started. One, Bob has moved from the Lincoln chair to the Lincoln bench, which has just been affectionately named, and now RedBeard is in the Lincoln chair. But I do want to backtrack, and I want to, and we were talking about this during the break. As alcoholics and addicts, we don't hold a patent on being uncomfortable or feeling out of place maybe sometimes at holiday events, and I'm going to go back to the first couple of questions we really touched on. Tell us a little bit about what the holidays look like for you, and how do you realize when a holiday event may be a trigger for you, and how do you handle going or not going? And I want to get your experience, RedBeard.
Okay. So for years, I didn't go home for the holidays. I would stay back and on whatever installation I was in and help, like in the DFAC feeding the soldiers that were there. A lot of that's because I've cut out a lot of my family for a lot of generational trauma induced toxicity. And on my side of the family, the last holiday event I went to, I took my wife when we were first got married to an aunt and uncle's house, and my wife is Hispanic. And as we were walking away to go walk around the ranch, we could clearly hear them say, well, at least she's better than the black girl he brought home. And so that was the last family event I've ever gone to, and that was over 20 years ago. Wow. So my immediate family and my wife's family, we always spend time with them. It's a big part of our life. We don't really do traditional holidays. We switch up Thanksgiving almost every year and cook something different. We got away from celebrating Christmas altogether just because I think the whole holiday is toxic. It's all about spending money, and I don't like it. Yeah. And it sets these weird expectations between people. So we just quit doing it. So we do untraditional things. We'll go out and do service work on Christmas. We'll go eat Chinese food if we feel like it.
I love it.
So I just don't. What's that?
Do you watch Christmas movies?
No, not really. We just don't put a whole lot of stock into it to lower those expectations that I think are too high during the holidays. I don't go try to do the Black Friday shopping, that kind of thing either. So, I'm not big on birthdays either. So if I feel something special, I'll go do something special. If I want to get my wife something, I won't wait for a birthday or a special holiday. I just get it. So
that's right.
Awesome.
And I put the same thing out for my kids too, because especially my son is my stepson, and he still celebrates Christmas, but I don't put any expectation out for my kids to participate in holidays either. Like, if you want to do something, you want to do something. If not, cool. And it's a lot less stressful. I don't need a holiday every year to remind me that I love my wife, to take her out for Valentine's Day. I'll just.
That's awesome. And a friend of mine, when you were talking, it just brought up an entire thought process that, Sherry and I have talked about a little bit, especially now that like our kids have families and they're trying to do the thing with their families. And so a friend of mine, for their holiday, the first week in November, they're a blended family. And so they tell all their kids, hey, look, the first weekend in November is our weekend. We're going to all come together. We're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. We're going to celebrate Christmas. And then when we get to those days, you're welcome to come to our house if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But this is like, we're going to get together at the beginning of November before all the holidays really get rolling. And that's when we're going to celebrate. And I love that idea. Great stuff.
Remember what expectation?
Oh, resentment's waiting to happen. Yep. Expectations or resentments waiting to happen. Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah. So you got us into the next part of it greatly with what you shared. So we talked about, how do you avoid alcohol or decide where to go? So what if alcohol is not involved and it's just your feelings and emotions? What do you do to handle that? Me, it's loud. For me, holidays I don't have a huge family, but it's very loud. You're expected to go to everyone's house. You're expected to see everybody. And you feel bad if you don't show up to this place with cheer on your face and a dessert in your hand. That it's a lot of it. Like I'll start with a little story. We are remodeling our house right now, and I just had it come apart a week or so ago, and I told Cheremy, I was like, we can't have Thanksgiving at our house. Our house is torn apart. We have no back bedroom. Look at this front bedroom. Like, people can't even go to the bathroom. Like, we can't do it. And I'm, really inside myself, I'm coming apart. And he says, well, he gets it all done out. Where actually today he's supposed to put in another floor. And I realized he's only putting in that floor because of me, because I had to come apart about it. Really, if I look at it, that does not have to be done, but that's just my whole life. You work up to the holidays. It's anxiety. It's fun, but it's still anxiety, and everything has to be perfect, and you have to be perfect. So, we're not perfect. We cannot be, even if we tried. So how do you step into situations like that? That's what I want to talk about. How do you handle those anxieties? Because for me, I told Cheremy, I don't want to do that today. I was like, I'm going to backtrack. I don't need all that perfectness.
Yeah. Well, I can, this is Sam, I can start with, by myself. Like last year, it was tough. It was emotional. It was draining. It was like a lot of grief, a lot of like all of that involved. And, moving into a new place and new single, all of that kind of stuff. I didn't even put up a tree, but I did it out of just like, I just didn't have it in me. And there was not, dinners at my house. So I'm by myself. So I went from hostess to, the person that goes, the visitor, the person that shows up at your house and with the dessert or whatever. So again, that just kind of shifted everything. Circumstances shifted that. But what do you do when your mind, your mental, your heart has to shift? Because I did come from, okay, all the grandkids have to have equal amount of presents. All the kids have to have all these things, and like what you're talking, I had to have like the tree was so much work to get that damn tree up that I would put it up before Thanksgiving, and where my husband wanted it down Christmas at 12:01, I was like, oh, we're gonna leave it up until January 1, and then it was just this big production, and so. But so last year, here's one thought. Last year, while everybody was putting all their stuff up and complaining about having to get all their stuff back in storage and I was like, not me. I got nothing. I just, it did. Now I didn't get my Christmas lights. I love the Christmas. I love what I loved about it was the simplicity of it in the morning time when it's quiet. and just being able to sit and do my morning meditation, things like that. And then like the holidays, it's nice, but you're right. It's absolutely over commercialized. Everything, we don't talk to people anymore. We order all of our stuff off Amazon or off wherever. I'm guilty of the whole Walmart thing too. I order all my stuff just not to have to walk into Walmart. But we've disconnected so much of the holiday. I mean, like, and that's why it's like holiday movies, like the old holiday movies where there were people like strangers passing by and wishing each other happy holiday. I mean, it was, I come from a generation where it was the uplifted kind of happy family function. And through my years, and it's on me, I created this, oh my God, everything's got to be perfect. The gifts have to be perfect. Everything's got to be equal. I've got to have this made, this, and it just, every single time I can look back and say there was a degree of absolute misery in it, trying to make everything just so. And I was trying to create an experience for my family, and it was terrible because I was like in the kitchen the whole time, or doing math all the time, or like wrapping all of the presents on Christmas Eve,
or driving them nuts because I have to clean everything, or go here, go there, baby.
So much, and now for me, it's like the canvas is clean again. I mean, like it's I'll see what everybody's doing. I only have one child here. Local. And so I'll maybe see what they're doing and maybe stop by, or we'll go out to dinner or something, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not making myself crazy. There's nobody around me to make crazy, but I would make everybody around me crazy.
Yes, that's me. That is me.
I'll have conversations with myself and just be like, and I have to calm myself down and go, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do it.
It reminds me of the old school houses you'd walk into, and all the furniture is covered in plastic.
Yes.
And it's like, why are we
like
doing
Bob's
this?
house?
Yes.
Why do we have this?
I know. And all of the decorations, everything's themed. Your tree's got to be this. What do you do with all that the next year when you want to change every single thing out? And they come up with 9,000 new colors and themes and all the things. I mean, like,
Forget about it.
I know. You walk. This started in August when you walk into Hobby Lobby. I'm like,
so
holy
rude.
cow! No, thank you. No,
rude.
thank you.
When I see Christmas stuff up before my birthday, oh
no!
You better get your birthday in about March nowadays if you're going to get it out before Christmas stuff goes out.
So I have a question for RedBeard. So you said you kind of cut off the toxic relationship part of your family. You cut that off, and that had to be hard. How did they react to it, and how did you do that? How did you do that?
It was less of them having any ownership of the issues. It was more of, you're the black sheep of the family, blah blah blah. It's like, everything's been one-sided because I don't believe that blood is thicker than water. That's garbage, and people can be a cancer. I'm not going to just invite that into my house. Yeah,
True.
Nice.
So
It's very true. And
yeah.
dude, you shared some things that have just got me like boiling on the inside.
Well, do share.
No, I think that there's no place. I don't think I should. I don't think I should go down that road, because if I started going down that road right now, it may not be podcast friendly.
Oh, gotcha.
But I'm so glad that you brought that up, because people should never be subjected to things like that, especially in your own family where you're supposed to be loving people. And in so many places in society that we walk into today, we're told, oh, well, why don't we just love each other? Why don't we just love each other? But we're so much more about division than we are about that other person. But you shared something that made me think about something, and I want to go back. And so for anybody that's in the listening audience that is familiar with Alcoholics Anonymous in the 12 and 12. In step 11, it's talking about St. Francis in the 11th step prayer. And it says, well, think now about the man who first uttered the prayer. First of all, he wanted to become a channel. Then he asked for grace to bring love for forgiveness, harmony, truth, faith, hope, light, and joy to every human being. Next came the expression of an aspiration and a hope for himself. He hoped, God willing, that he might be able to find some of these treasures too. This he would try to do by what he called self-forgetting. What do I mean by self-forgetting? And how did he propose to accomplish that? And you took an event that happened in your life with you and your wife, and you self-forgot, and you went into service to others because you shared about being of service on those holidays. And I think that is huge. And if we could find some inner strength in what you did, then we would be much nicer to each other in society.
I will say, I am not perfect. I'm infallible, or I'm not infallible.
He said it right here first.
You heard it first, folks.
I think that one of the healthiest things I started doing is being unapologetically honest.
Yeah.
And I don't care if that hurts someone's feelings, because that means their feelings are set up on false pretenses. So healthy boundaries, I think, are really important.
That hurt my heart when you even said that. So I need to work on that. Like, oh, no, that hurt my heart. But it's so true.
No, that's exactly where my mind was going. It has everything to do with boundaries. And we're at the break talking about some things you are powerless over. And that includes the behavior and words and thoughts of others. You are powerless for that. But you are not powerless about who you accept in your life. And that includes people who think other races are quote unquote inferior. Racist people, sexist people, you don't have to interact with them at all. If you have healthy boundaries, you don't have to spend your holidays with people you don't like, regardless if they're family or anyone else. And something that brings us back to one of the 5 that were discussed earlier is that day should just be like any other day. And that's something that you should also consider, putting so much stress on yourself to make it perfect. It's just another Tuesday. It doesn't matter if it was the 25th or whatever Thursday happens to be Thanksgiving. It's just another Thursday.
It's just another
Well said.
Monday.
No, don't make me sing on this mic. 2 things I'm not ever going to do on this podcast is sing and laugh so hard that I snort.
She sang earlier.
Those are my 2 things.
And you snorted in one of the other podcasts.
I did already? No way. Oh, geez. RedBeard, we're going to have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Can you take that out for me? I think one of the things, you said it great. One of the big things that helped me early on was my sponsor always said, remember that you are dealing with sick people. That changed my perspective. And we were talking at the break, that's what was screaming in my head, was remember these are sick people. They do not have a program. A lot of them don't have a program to fall back on or anything like that. And they are still living in that same trauma that's been passed on from generation to generation. And they haven't got out of the pit. I mean, so to speak. Oh, look how I did that. Did you see that? But we have. So I think we have to get, I have to remember, I'm saying this back to myself. I have to remember to give people that drive me absolutely nuts a lot of grace, because they are sick people too.
Yeah, I really love that. And something else that you had asked was how to do it.
Yes.
And honestly, it has everything to do with knowing your boundaries and standing firm in those boundaries, knowing that you are worth more than being treated like that. It's just like Bob said earlier, we are the treasure. We have to guard ourselves. And that includes allowing people to talk to you a certain way or affecting your peace in a certain way. I think the doggy let me know.
He agrees with you.
Yeah, I think he was agreeing with me.
Yeah.
So preach.
So, I think for me, like it is another day. It's a special day for me. I think about, the birth of Jesus. I mean, and you people believe, everybody can believe what they want to believe, but there was no Neiman Marcus, back then, that was open, that was like, hey, let's sell this stuff to the highest bidder. I mean, like they weren't buying their, frankincense, myrrh at Macy's. That's right. And I think that the world has done a terrible job at just making it such, and it's like they're packing in so much. It's this one day, and we start looking at it, not celebrating it, looking at it, planning for it, eyeballing it, what's going to be we start doing all of that like way back before the day. And, for me, it's like to bring it back to its simplest form it's to celebrate the birth of Jesus. And I don't have to have I don't have to be at church. I don't have to have a tree. I don't have to do all of these things that commercially everybody says that this is how we should celebrate. I get to just be, and without all of the chaos. And, yes, the boundaries are, I'm not going to put my boundaries, you put them up, but I don't have to put my thinking, the way I think about it, on you. If you want to go crazy and you want to put it, like I was a 2 or 3 tree person, like back in the day, like that's how much, it was just a tree for everything. If you want to go crazy and do all that and plan and party and all, have 10,000 finger foods at your house, that's great. That's on you. And I love that. And I'll come and I'll eat that.
Heck yeah.
I will come eat that.
Heck yeah.
And I will pick apart your tree and, all the fun judgy things that we like to do. But I don't have to do all that anymore. I don't. And I can still, but my problem is that perception, that disease of perception makes me feel like you're a crappy person if you don't celebrate like that, if you don't spend like that, if you're not gift giving the same as they're gift giving, or you're not doing all these things, you're not participating in all these things. And so that comes back on me as a person who's like a sort of a people pleaser and wanting to, you want to be loved, you want to be liked, you want to be, you sort of want to be involved in the holidays and things like that. But it does look different for me now. I mean, and it carries this weight for me. This carries this weight of a little bit of grief, like missing Brittany. And it's not that her death means that I don't get to be happy, or that it's shifted everything in me. It just did. And there's no way that it could not, but it doesn't have to be some terribly sad, depressive, I'm learning how to take the best parts of who she was and what I shared with her and who she meant to me. And it doesn't mean all that stops. It just means that I can carry it and give it to other people in a different way. My life doesn't have to stop, but I can choose a different way to celebrate, and I can choose a different way to live on that day, or to leading up to that day and all of the holidays. And that I have to learn that those boundaries you can give those boundaries and make them, you can be assertive about it, but you don't have to be aggressive. I mean, we can still be kind about it and not stir up our peace and stir things up. We could just be a simple, I'm learning from my sponsor that a no means no. No is a complete sentence. And then you let the awkward silence sit. And it doesn't have to, if you're awkward, then that's on you. It doesn't have to be. And I'm tired of being the awkward one. I don't want to be the awkward one. When I'm setting my boundaries, just set them and forget them. That's an infomercial too. Set it and forget it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And listen, I'm in a place, like we had this conversation with my mother last night and the last couple of days. Is my mother is one that she loves her family, but she also likes to give presents, right? But over the years, the family has gotten so big that the present buying gets so big that she's reverted to this just for the children. She's like, here, I'll just give you money, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm almost 50 years old, okay? I don't want my mother's money. And I've told her, I said, look, I said, Mom, stop giving me, like, I would much rather you take me out to dinner for my birthday and us spend time together at this particular point in time. Like, I don't need your money. I don't need the money that you're giving me, right? And I mean, there are plenty of people out there that do need that money, right? But in my particular case, like, and so I look at that same thing. So for my grandchildren, I build them a Christmas present. So I go out into my shop and I build them something. That is something that they can place in their hands and use, whether they ever use it or they don't. That's something that I built with my hands to give to them.
Listen, that's so good, because from when I was a child, my great uncle did that, built me a dollhouse, and that was the most precious thing that it got destroyed in a move, but it got destroyed in a move. But I mean, like, that is such a beautiful gift that they will have for the rest of their life and be able to remember you from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and the joy that I get from watching them play with those things. My granddaughter, she got a unicorn last Christmas. She gets on that thing and she rocks that dude back and forth, and she just has like the best time with it, and it is just awesome.
Cool. I know what I want for Christmas now.
A rocking horse unicorn.
A rocking horse unicorn. You got it. You got it.
White with a purple horn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a purple mane and ponytail, I hope.
Yep. So, all right. Folks, we're getting about down to the end of the show. We're going to do a couple of quick hitters, the last two questions, and then we're going to get into the closing. So as we go around, we're going to go around the room, a couple of minute response on these, and then we're going to get to wrapping up. There's been some topics brought up today about blended families. You know, some people have multiple different family directions that you have to go. How do you handle blended or large families you have to see?
Hey, I'm getting great advice here because I am not good about it, as i.e. the going crazy last week telling you we can't have Thanksgiving at our house. So that is not something I'm good at, because I do want to please everybody and I don't want anybody to be mad at me. And then I don't want to hear the negative connotations they're going to give me the next time I didn't show up. So I really think for me, it has just been set a date. This is what we're doing, and don't have the expectations. If you want to come. If you can't, that's fine too. But that is really, kind of blended families. And then you got kind of get squirrely with all the, I don't want to be by that family member right now, and I don't want to be that. And it gets tiring, and it does kill the holiday season. So I just got to make a date. This is what we're doing. Come or don't. Don't take it personal, and don't get expectations.
Love that.
Good.
No politics or religion.
Good.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, and you don't have to go.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, so, I don't really know anymore what it's like to have to worry about big family gatherings, because, RedBeard, you said something earlier that, he doesn't believe that blood is thicker than water. And it certainly is not in my case. I actually don't communicate with either my father's side of the family or my mother's side of the family. I'm single, so I don't have, a family through marriage or anything. But, my family gatherings is me, my dad, my brother, my niece, and my nephew. My brother is divorced. But I strategically and specifically do not speak to either my parents' sides of the family, because, I was, when I cut them out, I was still out in my active addiction and alcoholism. But they brought a lot of toxicity to my life, a lot of judgment. And I remember, when I still had both of those sides in my life, there was, around the holidays, it was a lot of, we've got to get the most expensive gifts. We've got to make sure that everyone gets a gift instead of like money or a gift card or something. And I have never enjoyed the expectation side of the holidays, because for me, it's about love and peace, not about gift giving. I don't make a big deal about buying presents for my niece and nephew, because I believe it sets an unrealistic expectation from early childhood in our society that we live in today. If someone, and I certainly don't have any expectations for anyone to buy me anything, because I don't want it to be done unless you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart and not because of an expectation. Something that goes hand in hand with these expectations, in my opinion, is ego. We have to realize, am I doing this because I want my ego to be stroked, or am I doing this because it's truly out of the goodness of my heart? We as, addicts and alcoholics, as I mentioned earlier, have a desire to fit in with society, but is that desire to fit in with society and fit in with that expectational norm, is that disturbing my peace? And if it is it really worth doing it? Because, the last several years, it's just been a very small family gathering for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. And last year I hosted Christmas for the first time at my house with, my small family. And I found myself kind of getting wound up about it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, every inch of my house has to be clean. Can't have dirt anywhere. And then it was just like I had an epiphany, this is my ego trying to take over and have control over every aspect of the situation. And so once I had that realization, I was like, you know what? Is it really that big of a deal? No, it's really not that big of a deal. They're my family and they love me, and they're not going to come in here with judgments on the condition of my house. And it ended up being a great holiday. So that's just kind of my 2 cents as people have been sharing. I've been sitting here wondering, an ego ties in with my alcoholism. It's another tool that my alcoholism uses to try to pull me back into it. So if I can get to know my ego and get to know when it's trying to rear its ugly head, the better chance I have at combating against it. So,
yeah, that's good stuff.
Well said.
I was going to say that, what I was thinking when you said ego is what's been my motive for the gift giving, the expectations, the party? Am I trying to be something I'm not? Am I trying to impress somebody I have no business impressing? Do I want to be the best grandmother? Because I get I get the kids the best thing that, the whatever it is that they want. And I'm good at giving money now. I mean, it's so funny because my mom does that. And I have, I'm like, oh my God, I'm slowly turning into my mother.
Constant worry.
Yes. So I'm like, and I love my mom, I love my dad. But our family's all completely separated and all, my dad and mom aren't together. My mom is, she's 85. My dad's 89. I mean, there aren't many Christmases left. And so I have to say that, they don't hold all these expectations for me to be at all these places. Those are on me. I'm the one that feels like if I'm not at a certain place, I'm going to hurt their feelings or whatever. For Thanksgiving, we go to, my cousins in Little Rock, and we always have Thanksgiving there, and I will go this year and I will stay there for a little while, but I've got family dinner that night at, off Mountain Pine in, Crystal Hill area. And I've got an AA meeting. I've got my family that I've got to make y'all some mashed potatoes. I got, I am. Nobody put mashed potatoes on that list. Did you notice? Anyway,
outrageous.
But I mean, that's because I have come to, I love my family. My son, he'll do his own thing. My daughter's in Colorado. My other daughter's in heaven. So here, that's where I'm at. And so I need to keep my head and my spirit where my feet are. I need to keep, that's where I am now. And so, and it's okay. It's becoming more and more okay. And I hate that motto that we say, it's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to, like, you've got to feel all these things, and you've got to experience a little pain, and you have to experience the shift in the energy and the shift in the seasons and relationships, all of that. You have to feel and experience that shift, grieve over it, or get excited about it, wherever you are. And then you're shifting into new seasons. And that's been me this year. And so I am not sad about the holidays coming up. I am happy that I have very few things on the list of places to be. And I'm happy that I have, my circle is huge, but it's small. It's huge in that I have a lot of people that I love and care about, that have given me gifts of their wisdom and their love and their grace and their kindness over the last year and a half. And I don't have to have that one best friend or that one person I'm in the middle. I want to stay in the middle. You know what I mean? I think that, and I can still have my alone time because I'm getting to where I really love that too. Yeah. I like my back porch alone time with my books and my blanket and my coffee. And I am super good with that. And then I can, leave space for God to work and do what he does and bring all these other people into my life slowly and methodically and with purpose. And I don't have to have somebody in my life for the sake of having somebody. And that's never been the case for me in years past. This is the first time in my life that I can feel like I am a big girl. Like I can adult and I'm a big girl, and I don't have to have somebody, swinging a hammer for me or tell me what to do, tell me where to go, tell me how to get there.
Drilling a hole in a wall.
I mean, I have friends who will teach me how to use the drill bit. Or the drill, whatever. Put the little thingy in the thingy. But
although she was walking in today talking about needing a ladder,
I do. So I need to get a piece of siding out of a tree in my backyard that is disrupting my beautiful space, my peace, and so I need that piece of siding gone. But all that being said is that everything shifts, everything changes, and we have to be able to shift with it. And I want to shift in the best spiritual condition I can, because the more we fight and press against the river as we're walking through it, it just won't flow. It just won't flow. I mean, or it'll flow around you. You miss all the things you get to be a part of. I want to get on that floaty and float down that river.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Bob?
Mom? Dad? The old Rucker's on the mic. Okay. Don't ever eat through the drive-thru. That is so random. Lethal Weapon, right? I don't know where that came from. It's just, you never know where my brain's going to go. I've got some thoughts. Let me see if I can get them succinct. So I was raised in the Hallmark Christmas, like you guys have all expressed. And when I found out that Jesus wasn't even born in December, it was like a caveman seeing fire for the first time, So why do we call it Christmas? Let's just call it what it is. Stressmas, right? So I don't get worked up. Shannon's not here to defend herself. That's on her. But I did tell her. Sherry told her.
That's why he did that. It was intentional.
So we have a tree we put up, and I don't decorate it. I'll put it up. It's a fake tree. It's a very nice tree. It's pretty. It's in the window, so we don't have cats anymore. They were my free entertainment, knocking the ornaments off. But I don't get stressed out over it. I don't get stressed out over holidays or meals. It's just what do you want me to do? Because when it comes down to it, I don't care. I'm just not going to let this rent space in my head. Not today. I'm good today. So what do I do to answer your question? I do a road trip every Christmas. I go out west. I have family in Arizona and in Texas. So my mom, my stepmother, I was a Jew raised by a Mexican in a black neighborhood. So if anybody's got a reason to be dysfunctional, okay, confused as me. So even though we buried my mom last August, I still want to go back and see my sister, So I hang out with her and her family. They're awesome. She listens to our show. So shout out, sis. I love you. So I'll go hang out there, and then I'll go to El Paso, where all my children are grown adults, and they stayed there. Who'd ever thought that would happen? However, this year I'm doing a reverse. I'm going there first because I'm taking some things to my kids that they want. In my declining years, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. So if they want it, it's yours. So getting a U-Haul, I'm going to their house first, but I don't want to break their tradition. Their tradition is they go to their mother's house and they have Christmas, and then they go their ways, but my married son and his wife will go spend Christmas then with her family. So that leaves me. What am I going to do? What do you think the old man's going to do? My son has a house like you, Cheremy. He's a lot of work. I'm retired. I don't do work anymore, but that'll be my zen while they're out there doing their Christmas. I'll work on his house. Awesome. I don't have a problem with it. I love my me time now. Whereas one time I thought that was wrong. Maybe I should be celebrating with somebody. And RedBeard, I like how you said it, man. If I feel like going, I'm going to go. And if I don't feel like it, there's no need to. And I would hope that other people can accept that, and I get it. There's people out there that we are blessed to have this 12-step program that only talks about alcoholism very little. The rest of it is about living life. And we have a life today. I'm excited about that. So I don't get wrapped around the axles with a lot. That doesn't mean I don't get stressed. I mean, Cheremy, we've shared with each other some things that, people, what does Paul say? Want to break out of the Chocoho tribe or something?
Chocoho, yeah.
The Chocoho tribe. People get under my skin, but then I have a program that helps me to work through it. I'm allowed to be stressed for so long, and it's time to move on, deal with it, move on, because I don't want to be a contagious banana, And the last thing I want to say is this. All of us here experience stress in a different way. So if I were to say to you, Christmas is coming, what if? What just went through your mind? What if? What if? What went through your mind?
What if I lost my most important person, my spouse?
Ooh, I can't. That's a mic drop there.
What if I get it wrong?
Okay.
Nothing.
Yes.
Good.
Like him.
Kimberly?
You can't get it wrong if you don't answer. But what if I party too hard or say the wrong thing?
Ooh. Okay.
What if I spend it all alone and am still at peace?
Ooh. That's what I was going to say is like, what if somebody actually asked me to go somewhere?
So I think some of you heard me say this before, but how I deal with the what ifs, I have to, because I'm a snarky guy anyway. I've got to look at the humorous side, and not at the expense of somebody else. There's a lot of my snarkiness I keep to myself because I think it's funny as stuff, but I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So the way I deal with a what if is I imagine a monkey flying out of my armpit. Or a monkey flying out of your armpit. That's some funny stuff. I don't care who you are. If that happened, you'd be like, what? Okay, so when I start thinking, oh man, what if? I just wait. I see the monkey. And there's nothing funnier than a trunk monkey. I mean, you got to agree. Monkeys. God put monkeys on this planet for our humor. So whenever you get stressed, just think of the monkey.
Think of a monkey. Okay.
All right. One last thing, since Bob brought up monkeys.
Do you have a monkey?
So no.
Oh, dang it.
But think about all the tools you use. Most of them are in forms of sticks. Therefore, after millions of years of human evolution, we are nothing more than monkeys with sticks. They may have advanced. They may launch things out of the end of them. You may put things on the end of that stick, but they are still sticks. Quit putting so much pressure on yourself.
That is a mic drop moment right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome stuff. All right, guys.
No, I saw it.
I got.
So the monkey jumps out of the armpit with a stick, beating you with it, going, "Don't take yourself so serious." Rule 62.
Rule 62.
Right. Okay, I'm going to blow your mind for the last thing. Did you know that if we traced it all back, humans did not come from monkeys. We came from the first vertebrae, which would be fish.
Yes. That evolution. And if you go even back further, we were a single-celled organism.
I'm a cannibal then.
We crawled out of the water. All right.
Out of the water.
Crawled out of worse places.
All right, guys. We have all slept in worse places or gone back, but we're going to get ready towards the end, folks, here. Before this podcast goes places, we don't know where it's going to go.
On record.
All right. In 5 words or less, what is a Christmas gift you always wanted from Santa? Bob?
Peace. Peace.
Oh, I'll say the rocking unicorn with the purple horn. I need it.
I too want the purple.
Okay, purple unicorn.
Cheremy's going to be busy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Joel?
Surrounded by true love. I mean,
Boom.
I wouldn't change my answer.
When I was a kid, I always wanted like real Barbies and not the secondhand kind. But I got sticks. Sorry.
Oh, there goes your sticks. See, I got sticks.
Sherry?
Oh, what is something that I wanted from Santa? Oh, to go away. Just go away. Like not have no expectations from anybody, anything, not have to see anything, just like vacation. Yeah.
Great. I love it.
Jeremy, what is something from you?
Oh.
Mm.
Is this when you were a kid? Maybe I misunderstood.
Well, it could be from
now.
You still want Barbies now?
I can't remember.
Vacation now.
I cannot remember things I asked for a kid. Because I asked my kids too, tell me something, they're 30 and late 20s. I said, tell me something you got for Christmas. What do you remember? Yeah. Nothing. Oh. Nothing. We do all this for nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. They don't remember a thing. I don't remember what I got for Christmas, except a leather jacket. Oh, I got a cool back in the 80s when leather jackets were a thing, and it had the tassels on it, and it tasseled up the front and tasseled up the back. But it was awful because the boys like to come over and then they'd pull on the tassels off. So, see?
Yeah.
Jeremy?
The boys always pulled your tassels off.
Oh, it's annoying.
You know, whenever I think about this question, I don't necessarily think about what I would have wanted as a kid. I think about it, what I would want now going forward.
Barbies were the wrong answer.
No.
Every answer was the right answer.
Listen, there is no right or wrong answer on this. That's the beauty of this question, is that it can be Barbies. It can be a purple unicorn. It can be going away on vacation. It can be surrounded by people with love. It can be peace. I think what I want from Santa is to continue to have appreciation for the moment in which I get to live in, surrounded by the people that I choose to surround myself with. And I think that is a key for all of us when we think about where we're going, what we're doing on the holidays, and who we're going to surround ourselves. We are going to surround ourselves with who we choose, not with who wants us to choose. And I think that's the appreciation factor that I want to continue to keep going forward. And if I can have one thing for the rest of my life for Christmas and from Santa, it would be that. All right. Well, awesome show, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here today. I hope that if you're out there in the listening audience, you have picked up on some of these things that my friends here in this room have shared today. Some thoughts that have come to mind as we've been talking, and I've been sitting here listening to y'all share today. Some of these were shared by y'all. Some of these were thoughts that just popped into my head as we all were sharing things. One, what are my motives for gift giving? Expectations based on ego. Set a date and just do it. No gifts based on money. Base it on internal feelings. We are gifted with the ability to feel our emotions today and be like water, flow around the obstacles. So, what say you on today's show? Leave your thoughts and comments on shoutoutfromthepit.com. So that's it, folks. Thanks for listening in, and please share our show with folks that could use some encouragement and extra tools for their recovery journey. The Buck Bucket is up. Hit the donation link on shoutoutfromthepit.com to help us update our equipment and grow the show. And be sure to subscribe at shoutoutfromthepit.com for future episodes. It is for free and for fun, as our friend Ralph would always say. Remember, you are not alone. And if no one has told you today they love you,
we love you.
We are Team Cheremy, praying you have a happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have an outstanding American Day. God bless and peace out.
Peace out.